Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and I want to talk to you today about Neti and nausea. Neti is a neti pot that you would actually use to irrigate your sinuses using a salt water solution. A very, very effective technique to cleanse your sinuses. In fact, in one study it showed that it decreased nasal congestion by 50%, reduced nasal irritation by 53%. So very powerful therapy. But traditionally it was always followed by nausea. Nausea was the actually introducing or sniffing oil into your sinuses to lubricate them after the neti. Neti is a salt water solution. When you put salt water on your skin, when you go to the beach, your skin gets dry. You put salt water into your sinuses, the sinuses get dry. They're a mucous membrane, so their job is to make mucus. So what happens is when you put a lot of salt water into your sinuses, they dry out and react by producing more mucus. And that mucus can become irritating. It can create postnasal drip and a cough. It can create a breeding ground for undesirable bacteria. So lots of not so good things can happen if you use neti only. However, there's incredible benefit. But the tradition always was, and Ayurvedic medicine always seems to have really good reasons for why they do these crazy things. And this crazy thing was to follow it up by putting oil into your sinuses. And now we know, studies show that oil actually feeds the microbes in your nasal mucosa. And everywhere you have skin, particularly the nasal mucosa, you have millions, trillions of microbes, good ones and bad ones, and the oils tend to have a saponification effect, which means a soap sudsing effect, a fight off the bad microbial effect, both of which you want in your sinuses, because that's oftentimes where we actually breed infections, is in our own sinuses. So that's an important piece of the puzzle. Plus the effect of putting oil into your sinuses, particularly when you use an herbalized nausea oil, the herbs are carried into the tissues of the skin by the oils, and the herbs have a moisturizing effect, of course, if you use the right herbs. So a classic nausea oil is cooked with moisturizing herbs to allow the herbs to penetrate the nasal mucosa and create a real lubricating effect, which allows the skin, the mucosa, to function the way they were designed to function, producing the optimal amount of mucus, not too much and not too little. It has to be just right for it to work. Another interesting phenomena about nausea is one of the 5 major cleansing effects in Ayurveda. And so it means just sniffing oil into your sinuses. But there's a sinus here they're all throughout your head, but there's one sinus called the sagittal sinus. And from the Ayurvedic perspective, and I have no Western studies to back this up, I have to say, but from the Ayurvedic perspective, sniffing oil into the sagittal sinus would actually clean and clarify mental thinking and clarity and memory and focus. And also, that sinus is said to be the place where we store a lot of old emotion. So we use this nausea technique to clean out the sagittal sinus and release a lot of old emotion that we carry. And sometimes, those emotions tend to drive us to do the same old dumb stuff again and again in our lives, and we don't even understand why. So one of the Ayurvedic techniques was to scrub those old emotions by using this nausea technique. Very simple technique by taking a couple of drops of nausea oil, put it into your sinuses, and just sniff that oil into your sinuses. Do it once or twice a day. You can do it in the shower while you're putting oil on the rest of your body, feeding the rest of your microbes. Please read this article associated with this video where I go into detail into some of the research on these techniques. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.